Good morning, everyone. This is Michael Musselman. Welcome to our Fire Up Weekly Wednesday webinar. It's sponsored by our company, Newfields Ag, where we bring innovations in your fields. We encourage you to visit our full-service website at newfieldsag.com, where you'll find a complete listing of our Newfields Ag products, our descriptions, videos about the products, and webinars such as what we're participating in today. And we appreciate and thank each one registering and joining today. We'd encourage you to share the link for this to other people and encourage inviting your farmer friends to these webinars. So we run pretty much every Wednesday morning from now till into March timeframe. If you have any questions during the presentation, place your questions in the chat box or raise your hand, and we'll work at getting those answered as we go forward. So once again, I'm Michael Musselman. I'm your host. I'm one of the owners of Newfields Ag, and thank you for joining us to share in this today. We're going to visit about Growthful, which is an innovative liquid product that enhances the plant's processes and the soil processes. So we just wanted to go through some details with you. We've worked with this product for several years now and seen really, really good results. And so I'll bring up the presentation here as we go forward. This product is manufactured by Aqueous, a company out of Detroit, Michigan area. We work with their management team there to bring this into our lineup. We've had some excellent experience with it. I just want to talk to you about the use of this hydronium ion product in your cropping operation. So the product has been out for several years now. We're seeing an average of 10 to 15% with the yields. It's been used on 250 farms on 500,000 acres, and looking at expanding it on different crops as we go forward. The Aqueous company with this new product has been recognized as one of the top 10 new products for agriculture in 2023, and it's one of those products that we've been introducing and doing a lot of testing with, and it's been used in many different states on many different crops, and we've had a lot of success here with corn and soybeans. Let's talk about real quickly about the product in terms of what it is, and in a very technical fashion, the hydronium ion is a hydronium type polymer. And as you can see on the right side of the slide, the normal structure of water would be an H2O type of structure. This patented process that is uses hydrogen, additional hydrogens to make an H3O structure called hydronium. And if you would like a lot more technical information, you can just search hydronium on Google and find lots of information, charts, and documentation with regards to this. Hydrogen, carbon, and oxygen are three of the main ingredients needed, or shall we say nutrients needed in terms of for plant growth. And hydrogen obviously is essential for human life, carbon and nitrogen cycling. And when it rains, hydrogen, oxygen, and nitrogen are brought into the soil and into the plant and released, and we see plants perform better. Obviously after we get rain, and the hydrogen is one of those reasons why, based upon the structure. So it's a unique molecule that has many characteristics that really help improve how plant processes, and also how liquids that we're spraying or putting on the crop work. So when you take an H3O molecule, add more to it, and continue to add more to it, you get an H21O10 type of bonding setup. And this basically allows for an exorbitant amount of hydrogen ions available to be used in the processes when we put them into our systems. Thinking a little bit about the technical aspects, and then we'll get into the practical aspects of the product. Hydrolysis is a reaction in water and is broken down during the reaction. So water and CO2 combine to form carbonic acid. And so this use of this clear liquid mimics and creates a carbonic acid effect in the plant and in the soil. Because hydronium has a large amount of positive charge from the hydrogen, it creates a charge imbalance, and that charge imbalance induces the hydrolysis reaction to form carbonic acid. And the interesting thing about this material is, being a weak acid rather than a strong acid, it has the ability to work and be reused over a period of time, rather than just, in a sense, burning out or flaming out very quickly. And so this helps with respiration on the roots, and the carbonic acid effect brings materials to the roots of the plant by working on the organic matter that's in the soil, and then allowing that to be transported to the plant root. In the carbonic acid system, there's a bicarbonate buffer system, and there's an acidity that's produced that allows for soil reactions. So when the pH is moderated, it commonly buffers out in the 5.3 to 5.6 range in or near the root rhizosphere. And so plants normally produce an exudate of acidity to facilitate nutrient uptake in that 4.2 to 5.8 range. The hydronium ion acts like an acidic salt, so it helps with the formation of this carbonic acid through hydrolysis without being consumed. It reacts in the matter of the soil solution, and these protons are donated. And in that proton donation, you have that energy, which basically helps elevate the mineral matter or organic matter into a nutrient form. And because of that, small amounts significantly impact the soil solution or chemistry, or the materials that we have in a solution that we're spraying. And so we look at rates such as 12.8 ounces for foliar application, and we look at 16 ounces as an in-furrow application with your fertilizers or your micronutrients that you may be putting in as the in-furrow program that you work with. So with hydronium, there is a simple way of thinking about how it releases tied up minerals that improve solubility out of the soil. We found it to be very good at mixing with in-furrow, your chemistries, your fungicides, and it can be used in all those types of application in that process. So we go with 1 pint per acre pre-emerge, and the post-emerge product that we use, 12.8 ounces mixed with about 10-gallon water. If you're looking at doing the drone spraying, you're probably putting on that 2-gallon or so, 1 to 2 gallon per acre. You can mix that in, and does a great job with helping keep those nutrients flowing and the solution working very well. So a couple of items to think about. What we found with this product is using it in your in-furrow solution based upon providing that energy to the system, it helps with the flow of your starters that you may be using, and the screens stay cleaner in use. And with that weak acid effect, what it helps to do is reduce the tie-up of those nutrients, such as your N, P, and K, and your micronutrients that may get tied up in the organic matter or on the soil colloid. So it creates an efficiency when you put it into your system. So one of my farmer friends that used it this year put it in, did testing with it in his in-furrow starter, and got a couple checks showing an 11 and 12 bushel gain with just using this in-furrow product at 16 ounces per acre. And I think the cost on that retails a little under $2. And so very, very good rate of return there for the use of this. What we've also seen when it comes to using it in your spray rigs, especially for helping with some of the sticky chemistries, you'll see that your variable rating that's done with your new See & Sprays will work much easier, less gumming up. In some cases, improved it very dramatically, so there's less issues with cleanup or even having to stop in the field at times, or when you're reloading for fixing those issues with chemistries that tie up in your lines and cause problems with your nozzles. So what we see is cleaner screens. And then because of the adjuvant-like effect when you're spraying, you'll see an increased uptake of chemistry into the plant for improved weed kill. You'll see an increased uptake of your micronutrients that you may be spraying, and also an increase in the ability for your fungicides to work better. This product can be combined with humic acids or other micronutrients and work very well. I think what we'll see with it is that in some cases, it'll provide similar effects to humic acids, but not exactly the same. And what I mean by that is we know that humic acid types of materials help deliver materials into the plant better, and this helps do the same. So it's very safe, very easy to use. The pH on it is very low, and it actually can help adjust pH in your water, especially when you look at adjusting your spray water. So you want to check that when you're using this product. So very simple to use. We're seeing yield gains from 6 to 5 to 7 to 10% at times, depending on the crop. It's used on potatoes and sugar beets, corn and soy, vegetable crops, and even into the ornamental shrub type of markets for helping grow healthier plants, increasing that growth and increasing the yield and the quality. And so just a great technology to be considering. We want you to know that the Growthful product works with biologicals and traditional agriculture chemistry. So we can mix this with the biologicals that we're offering, and the inorganic adjuvants of Growthful are not susceptible to resistance. We want you to know that it supports and balances other inputs of the pH and improving performance by the alkaline hydrolysis process. Excellent ROI. We like this product because it is not expensive to use. You can put it in with your tank mixes, and really helps make things work better. And because it's so safe, we don't have to worry about combining it with other products like our in-furrows, whether that's Phenom or Invita or B4 and so forth. And so with an easy to use product like this, this is one where people are taking it at times by the totes, putting it into their mixes and just using it with their in-furrow pass or their foliar pass to make everything work better. So with that, that concludes my formal presentation. And at this time, we open for a discussion and to answer any questions. And so I'll just ask if Brian or Bob or any one of our team members may have comments. They can hop in here to help us. And if anyone has a testimonial that's used it that may want to make any comments towards that, just raise your hand or take yourself off mute, and we'll be happy to have that conversation.
Michael, this is Brian. Could you touch on the plant health and side of that a little more? What you've seen as far as the quality of the fruit, that kind of thing that's coming from the plant with the use of this product that they've shared with us over the last couple of years.
Sure. So another division of aqueous has a product that's used, it's called Freshful, and the use of that has been for cleaning fresh cut vegetables and reducing the breakdown of those fresh, those fresh cut vegetables. And so what we see with this type of product in terms of plant growth, we see a stronger, healthier plant. We see less disease, and you'll see at times greater root growth because of its stimulatory effect in bringing materials to the plant. So when you look at the greenness of your corn or helping reduce certain biotic stress or diseases that come on, because we bolstered the plant and helped run plant processes more easily, you just get a better, healthier plant. So an interesting side note is in the plant, there's what's called a hydrogen pump system. And so when we introduce this in a foliar manner, it helps with the acquisition of materials through the leaf surface. But then when these additional hydrogen go into the plant, they help work in the plant to improve its processes. And if you think about in a plant that everything takes energy to move, when we increase the energy in the plant, then we have the ability for the plant to run processes easier and better.
There's a question in the chat, Michael. What's the difference of product from in-furrow to post-emerge?
A great question. So Growthful is the name of the product class. We have a pre-emerge and an in-furrow product. They are two different products or SKUs. Sprayed or used at different rates. What we have as a difference in the foliar product versus the in-furrow, based upon that it's a spray material, there are some additional ingredients that help in the adjuvant characteristics that you'll want to have when you're out there spraying and mixing for spraying. And so the dose, in a sense, is what matters. And so there's also a difference of dosage of the material of those hydronium ions in order to not make the foliar too strong, that we would be concerned about potentially burning the leaf edge or tip. And so there are different formulations based upon that with the same chemistry as the base.
Jared Gruel has a question for you.
All right, Jared.
Well, not so much a question, but more more of a comment, two of
Sure.
them. One, the liquid and furrow pre-emerge product does have the corrosive label on it. I would encourage anyone to not be overly concerned about that. If you're comfortable working with UAN, you'll be just fine with this stuff. So I wouldn't encourage people to worry about that, though. Do keep it out of your eyes. That would be highly advised. Also, given the nature of the cost of this, even though we get these great yield responses, it doesn't take very fast for this, or very long for this investment to turn over and start making money. So even if it is only a 2 or 3 bushel response, I would be very slow to say, well, I just didn't see where this worked, because the fact of the matter is, speaking from firsthand experience, I was seeing improvements in the crop and seeing the product working well within 24 hours, sometimes before I even left the field. So this product works. But the combine needs to be part of a jury, not the sole judge, is what I would advise.
Jared, thanks for those comments. This is a low pH product, but interestingly, you can take and put it on your hand, and it does not burn your hand. And so it's probably even less problematic than a UAN with that, if you're looking at a scale of concern for that. So, comments, we've received, for instance, comments about sprayers being cleaner, maybe even cleaning out some things that were there before once they put this material in. And so that lets us know that this product is highly energized and is working in these solutions to make the solutions that we're spraying or putting in furrow very active, and to stay and be more available. And so we just really think that it's one of those chemistries that is novel and different and introduces capabilities that we need. We have one large farmer here in Central Illinois who has used it last year, and is basically will be using it for all of his spraying situations this year with his See and Spray John Deere system. And he's encouraged us to go to other See and Spray users because he just saw no problems with those systems working accurately and keeping materials moving without gumming up, and just elated to it that he found something that helped him lower the pH a little bit in the water and move the products through and keep his sprayers working. And so he was very focused on the functional aspects and benefits of the product rather than the potential yield enhancing benefits that we get with the product also. Any other comments from any users out there that have used it yet? Brad Zimmerman, anyone else that's one of our resellers? I don't know if you have any questions that you might have one of your customers on that specifically I didn't answer for you. We're happy to try to get those questions answered as we go forward.
No, you did a great job laying that out, Michael. This is Brad. My main concern was, will it work with the biology being such a low pH product? And I think you answered that question that, yeah, it will.
Yeah, and it has that buffering capability and capacity when you get it into the solution. If you're talking about 16 ounces of this, it's a chemistry type of material, right? Into 2 to 10 to 12 gallon. We like to know that the safety's there.
Michael, is this one of those products that you could see being included in a drone program?
Yes, it can be.
Michael, this is Jeremy. So yeah, I had quite a bit of experience with the drone this year, and I can just say that, number one, the drone operation was turned awesome. Just, fewer cleanups of the drone and everything like that. And then, the effectiveness of especially herbicides was tremendously enhanced with the drone. We did some applications in northern Iowa where we were actually trying to just kill some weeds and some drown out spots, and it was literally the difference between working and not. One thing I wouldn't mind you touching on is just the mixing sequence that you would use with this product.
Sure. As always, we would want you to jar test before you get in for your unique situations that you're looking at, and so that you can make sure that your order of operations with the particular materials that you're using work, and that you don't have any problems. So far, we've been in pretty good shape with little to no types of mixing issues. And so, introducing this a little earlier into the mix versus putting it in as the last would be indicated in an order of operations. So we do encourage you, as always, do your mixing ahead of time in the jar and make sure there's no disruption in settling out of certain materials as you go forward. This really helps the mixes work better, and it has very strong characteristics. It's really an amazing type of product. We've seen this product work on both sandy soils and also your blacker, darker, higher quality soils. We don't necessarily say that this is for one or the other soil types. It's really what it does based upon whether you're trying to work in the plant or if you're working in the soil, taking material off the soil colloid, or breaking down a little bit of your organic matter and pushing off some of those nutrients. And what we like about it, when you look at an energy standpoint from the plant's perspective, the plant is having to create energy to make its exudates, like the carbonic acid, in order to push that out of the roots to go search for, in a sense, and make those nutrients become available out of the soil solution or the colloids. And so, in essence, we're coming alongside the plant and helping it with its processes so it doesn't have to expend as much energy in the same fashion without this material. So when you look at it from an energizing product in your system, that material as a weak acid has all kinds of capabilities with running the processes that we need to make plant life work better, or our solutions work better, or the processes in our soils work better. What I like about it is, when we look at biology, we like biology because it has some initial and then also season-long effects, and grows with the plant and on the plant. Here we have a chemistry that very early helps, if we're looking at putting in a soil solution, with upstarting things from a chemistry standpoint. And so when we put NPK or micronutrients out there, those are nutrients in a chemistry form that the plant can use and uptake, and also the biology uses. So when we look at a fuller type program, introducing an energizing molecule like this from a chemistry standpoint helps us catalyze processes and start them along with the biological processes that we're improving with the biology that we put there. Any other
Michael,
comments?
There's another question in the chat.
Okay.
Lauren's asked, what would the use rate be with a drone.
Jeremy, can you talk a little bit about what you've seen with that versus full rates, shorter rates, what you've seen on that?
So this year we used mostly full rates, and we've had some issues over the years, spraying water, fungicide, and maybe if biology works fine, but if you throw, say, an enlist herbicide, I know I had a guy a couple years ago that had some weed pressure, and as we started to add some herbicide chemistry into the mix, they did have some issues in their drone with the Growthful in the tank. We seen much less of that as we added stuff into the tank, and I'm no expert on chemistry, but I think just the fact that it is a clear, free-flowing liquid allowed that stuff to mix well. So we kept the rates full. Now, that's I look at products like this or Carrier. They're a little bit more like using 28 or 32%. Yes, we do have a target rate, but if you use a little bit more, a little bit less, it's probably going to be just fine. So I guess that would be my comment. One of the other things I wanted to touch on, Michael, and you can add your thoughts here too, but I think almost an essential product when you're using a nitrogen fixer. As a lot of guys know, we sell 4 different nitrogen fixers, I think 5, a couple different versions of some, but as you think about that process that a nitrogen fixer has, where you're taking N2 out of the atmosphere and converting it into NH4, the hydrogen donation aspect of Growthful can be pretty important and just ease up the load of the plant processes there, kind of like Michael just touched on. And products like Growthful, I think I like to explain sometime, they're kind of the opposite of a trait in a hybrid. And I'm not here to downplay traits, but traits do require extra energy from the plant to produce. Growthful is the opposite. It's actually helping the plant ease up on those plant processes, and that way it has more energy to impact yield.
Jeremy, those are great comments with regards to that. And every system requires energy to make things happen. And so when we can work with the plant and the soil to make them more efficient, then we're just making our systems work better. So Jared, I see you raised your hand again, sir.
Yeah, Jeremy brought up a good point that I didn't think of earlier. As we start looking at the very real possibility of fertilizer regulations and nutrient loss reduction, products like Growthful and other products in the portfolio will be growing in importance because they act as a multiplier effect with the efficiency boost that they can add to products like nitrogen that you've already put into the system. So it's one of those, we're going to be on the learning curve. You might as well get on the learning curve earlier and be ahead of the curve of everyone else. So.
Well, with that, we'll conclude this morning. Again, we can encourage you to visit our website, newfieldsag.com, for complete product information and to find one of your local resellers. We want to invite you back next week for our next Wednesday's topic, and appreciate you attending. Hope you have a great and safe week here as we start the new year here in January. So we appreciate your attendance, and we'll visit with you next time.